Somebody decided to look up the first New York Times mention of Adolf Hitler to see if there was any indication of what he was gonna do, and the results here are incredible. So on Tuesday, November 21st, 1922, the New York Times said this about Hitler, quote, "But several reliable, well-informed sources confirmed the idea that Hitler's anti-Semitism was not so genuine or violent as it sounded, and that he was merely using anti-Semitic propaganda as a bait to catch masses of followers and keep them aroused, enthusiastic, and in line for the time when his organization is perfected and sufficiently powerful to be employed effectively for political purposes." A sophisticated politician credited Hitler with peculiar political cleverness for laying emphasis and overemphasis on anti-Semitism, saying, "You can't expect the masses to understand or appreciate your finer real aims. You must feed the masses with cruder morsels and ideas like anti-Semitism." Okay, in other words, what's happening here is the article in the New York Times in 1922 about Hitler when he was on his rise, they're saying, come on, he doesn't really mean it, right? Right? And the consensus was, of course he doesn't mean it. Anti-Semitism, blame the Jews, blame the Jews, blame the Jews. I'll do this to the Jews, I'll do that to the Jews. No, you won't. You're using a political trick and you're being clever. You're harnessing the sentiment of the masses, the uneducated masses, to then, use that to ride your way into power. And then once you're in power, obviously you have this sophisticated version of governance that you want to implement, and you can't expect these peasants to understand your brilliant political mind. So you exploit that issue to get to power, and then you do good by everybody. How horribly off base they were. Now, look, I really do dislike comparisons between Hitler and Trump. I do, because Trump's a con man. But do I dislike the ones between Trump and Mussolini? Not so much. But Trump and Hitler, yeah, that's too far. I don't like really any comparisons to Hitler, because Hitler's Hitler. One of the worst guys ever to live, ever, okay? But purely from a strategic standpoint, you see the same arguments being made today, where people say, is he really going to deport 11 million, 12 million undocumented immigrants? Really? Is he really going to build a wall? Really? That's what he's going to do? Come on. No, he's using that to harness the power of the Republican base so he can ride his way into power, and then when he's there, he'll be a more responsible person in government. Sound familiar? Is Trump really going to try to ban all Muslims from entering the U.S. for a temporary period of time? Is he really going to try to ban all Muslims from entering the U.S.? Really? Really? Is that what he's going to do? No, he's using that issue to harness the anti-Muslim bigotry in the Republican base so he can get into power and do more reasonable things and use sophisticated governance that the people can't possibly understand. Sound familiar? Now, again, he didn't promise to do a genocide, right? Hitler, I don't know if he ever promised it, but he may have come close multiple times. So there are huge differences, don't get me wrong here. But the heart of the issue is, they don't really mean it, do they? You really want to take that gamble? You really want to do that? And then I haven't even mentioned, the worst of what Trump has put forth. Hey, we should torture, quote, even if it doesn't work. Would you bring back waterboarding? I'd bring back a lot worse than waterboarding. He's not really going to do it, is he? I don't know. Did Dick Cheney really do it? Dick Cheney really fucking did it. He really fucking did it. Hey, not only are we going to go after ISIS, we're going to go after families of ISIS. The families. Grandmas. Toddlers. Women, children. That's who we're going to go after. He's not really going to do that, is he? Is he? Don't take the chance. Historically, if you do take the chance, it doesn't work out very well.